Should get a notification.
Welcome, everybody, to Catfish Weekly. Along with
Welcome.
J.R. Cochran, I'm Lyle Stokes. And tonight, J.R., we got a pair on here to go with. We got Sonny Parker and his wife, Shauna. And I'd known Sonny for years. We've had a great time online. I got to fish with him one time on the Missouri River in a winter tournament where we like to froze to death, but cold, didn't matter. Fish didn't bite, didn't matter. We still had a great time. So I know tonight with Sonny and his wife on here, we're going to have a blast.
I think you caught about a 40-foot log that day, if I remember right.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I guess it wasn't a total loss.
No, not at all.
Sonny, how's it going?
Going good.
I don't know where to start. You had given me some information that is pretty wealthy last night, and I don't know where to start with that and get it out there to everybody because wow, what a deal that is.
Yeah, why don't we? That way,
if everybody
can check it out.
Yeah.
But
why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. The guy that lives up the end of the block from me, Richard Hagan, was over by Brownville, Nebraska, fishing on the Missouri River, using a 4-inch bluegill, and caught an 89-pound flathead, which is now the new Nebraska state record for flathead. The record before, I think, was caught in 82 and was 80 pounds.
Wow.
So he got the documentation all done. He contacted the game warden. They got it certified on a certified scale. He wanted to donate the fish to Exarban Aquarium, which is it's a learning center for kids about aquatics and grasslands. It's just a big education center. Well, they had just recently redone their aquariums, so it's not big enough to house that big of a fish. So he took the fish today and took it back to Missouri River and released it back where it came from.
Can you guys see that picture?
Yeah.
That's one of the pictures. I'll see if I can get the other one up here in a little bit. And what did you say that fish weighed, Sonny?
89 pounds.
89 pounds. I don't care where you're from, where you're at, where you're going, and who you're talking to. That's a giant flat.
And it was rod and reel. The guy does not do bank lines. It was rod and reel, but the previous record was caught on a bank line. So at least it's legitimately caught, and at least it's on rod and reel.
That's a stud.
I wonder what the rod and reel record was before that.
Nebraska, they take their rod and reel and their bank lines. It's all grouped together.
Yeah.
It's not an alternative and a rod and reel. It's just all one group, which we're trying. We'd like to get them to change that, so you recognize the guys that are rod and reel fishing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
if they were selling it to, if they were selling those fish to Japan for sashimi grade sushi, then they would definitely learn to distinguish the two.
Right. Yep. Now I can't hardly see any of the comments, so you just have to kind of let me know if anybody has any questions or anything.
Well, I'm trying to get this picture up, the other picture that you sent me, so everybody can see the other.
Dieter Melhorn said 89 pounds is one of the largest flatheads that's been caught this year anywhere.
I'm sure that he's right.
And he caught it.
And boy, it pains me.
Water.
It pains me to say that Dieter's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he caught it. He caught it in 6 feet of water.
There's a forward looking.
6 feet. That's a good depth. That's where I caught my biggest flathead.
Man, that's a stud. Look at the mouth on that bad boy.
Wow.
So me or the fish?
Both.
And these pictures are modest pictures. They're not someone trying to make them look bigger than what they really are. They're just real.
There is nothing that makes me madder than somebody holding them out there or showing the same picture 3 or 4 times a couple years apart and making you think they caught a different fish when it's
Right.
the same picture. They just that kind of stuff just sets me on fire.
Well, what he had to do, the only way you could keep it, he kept it on the stringer to keep it live, kept it in the river, made his phone calls, finally got a hold of a game warden. The bad thing about it is the game warden had him take it in and out several times to weigh it and to measure it and everything else instead of doing it all in one shot. And yes, there is pictures of it hung with a tractor and a loader by its jaw. I kind of educated him on that last night and told him what that can do to the fish. But regardless, he had it in a deep freeze. Yeah, it's all insulated. We put the aerators and stuff on it last night, and that fish was very lively. Yeah. And when they took it back, the biologist could even confirm the fish has been released and in great health.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Have a little chat message here from Dieter. Says that fish would have looked 114.62 if I'd have took the picture.
And if James Dockery would have took a picture with it, it'd look like around 200 pounds.
Yeah, it would have been one of those whales catfish.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
I don't know if he's in yet, but I just had to throw that out there.
He was in before the show.
If I catch a flathead that big, you best believe it's going to be a dramatic release. Like, I'm definitely getting out of the boat. I'm going to get on the shoreline. And I'm going to have multiple cameras, and it's going to be a huge deal.
That's exactly right.
Maybe even a drone.
But I got to tell you, our buddy Doc called me the other night. First time I talked to him in a while. I know he's been busy mowing, moving, getting all of his household stuff straightened out. But it's one of these days since he's moved down there where he's right close to Wilson and Wheeler Lake, be looking for a big old flathead from old Doc. Because it won't take him very long to find them down there. Most of them guys look their whole life. Old Doc will look for a couple of weeks and he'll say, okay, here's where we're going to fish for them flatheads, and that's where they'll be. That's just the way he is. So he'll find them flatheads, and we'll get to see some pictures of them for pretty soon. If he's able to take pictures, I don't know if he's going to be fishing by himself or with somebody, but he'll definitely be on them flatheads pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, I think around here, the water temp, I don't know what it is on the Missouri River right now, but like our lakes and everything, they're all right around 78 to 80 degrees right now. So the blues are starting to spawn, and the flatheads are just starting, to get in their feeding frenzy before their spawn. So,
that's right. I think a lot of them are starting to spawn. Don't know if they all are. Of course, they never all go at the same time. You know what I mean? They split it up. But it is what it is. It's that time of year, so.
And you can tell James Dockery, I can fall out of any boat, any direction. It does not matter.
Fall out left or right. Park boat.
I just break a lot of bones when I do it.
Well, I know that you're not as old as I am, but you're going to have to watch it because you're falling and messing around. Isn't working out all that well for you. I got to tell you.
Well, it wasn't me really falling. A buddy of mine put the truck in gear and then hit the gas a little bit, and I wasn't hanging on. I didn't realize he was doing that.
But I understand that he told you to hang on.
Well, I don't know. If so, I didn't hear him.
Well, we're just happy that you got healed up, got fixed up.
But James, I don't know why that guy is so angry all the time. I think it's got something to do with him having to use a step ladder to bait his poles.
Oh, JR. I knew this is going to be a good time tonight, and it is. And James can fend for himself. We made it. He wanted to be a moderator for this show, and I thought, man, that'd be awesome. That way He's afraid Sonny'd be able to erase what he posted.
That's all right.
Oh,
like my wife said, I bring it on myself. She said, you dish it out, now you need to take it. So,
Yep.
well, hey, if you can't take it, there's no sense in dishing it out because it's going to be twice as bad on you.
oh yeah.
If they know they can get over on you, it'll never stop.
But I will tell you one thing he did do. So you just kind of watch him. My wife came home from work one day and she says, "Do you know a James Dockery?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" Well, he sent me a message on Facebook, something about some candy bars, your favorite candy bar or something. Like, oh my God, here we go.
Man, oh man. Carl Wells said not to feel too bad. He fell out of his boat 2 weeks ago and took a trolling motor prop to the chest and then hit the ground upside down. Carl, you got to stop that.
Yeah, he sent me a message and told me about that. And then he sent me another message and asked me, he said, did you bruise with them broken ribs? And it's like, oh yeah, I had a lot of bruises and they were everywhere.
Absolutely. JR, you got some questions for Sonny in case somebody comes in with some?
Well, I've got a couple here.
All right. You can pull the volume up just a little more or pull the mic in a little tighter to you.
Okay, let's pull that mic in a little bit.
There you go. That's lots better.
Sonny, do you fish tournaments?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever won a tournament?
No, the closest I've come is second.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. So you're like the what was that NASCAR driver that came in second all the time?
Mark Martin.
Mark Martin, yeah. So you're like the Mark Martin of catfish tournament anglers.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit taller though.
He was
Mark
pretty short.
Not very tall.
Yeah, but no, I started doing tournaments approximately 4 or 5 years ago, and winning's important, but it's not the biggest factor for me. I like to see the guys, talk with them, meet new guys, find out info, and just to communicate with people. It's fun to meet new people.
Mm-hmm. What's your PB flathead?
64.5 pounds. It was caught on the Kansas River down at Lawrence, Kansas.
Kansas River.
Yep.
What was the bait?
Asian carp, a little 2-inch chunk of Asian carp.
Asian carp.
Yeah.
So that was another one of my questions. Did y'all have Asian carp?
Yes.
What's your big blue? Junior Proctor wants to know.
Well, I can't remember if I weighed it at 53 or 56. I caught it at Perry Lake in Kansas about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago.
Giant.
And my personal best for channel cat is 24 pounds.
Now, you said that sometimes the current could be up to 7 miles per hour where you fish. I'm assuming you're not trolling at 7 miles per hour to catch these fish.
No. I'm anchored close to that bank as I can get in case something goes wrong. I can jump.
Okay. So what kind of terminal tackle, how much weight are you having to use to keep your baits still in that current?
Well, we fish a lot of the top sides of the wing dikes or the back side of the wing dike, along the current seam. So we use anywhere from 6 to 12 ounces.
Okay. And do you stagger those weights, or do you just typically whatever you got tied on that day? I know a lot of times on a tidal river, guys will start out with, they may start out with 12 ounces on the side of their boat and then step it down as they get farther back toward the transom.
Now we just basically, use what we got on there, and because even if we leave a line set for a little bit, we might reel it in and just throw it over to closer to the heavier current too, so.
Mm-hmm.
But I do use the sinker slides to where it's easier to change, but usually I don't.
Yeah.
I just put the sinker on there and go, and if it's not working right, and it's like we're getting more slack water, then I'll put a lesser ounce sinker on.
Yeah. I have issues with the sinker slides when I'm fishing because I fish reservoirs, and if I have a Santee rig on, when I'm anchor fishing, it seems like the peg float on the leader wants to float the bait up through the sinker slide up to the top of the water. Yeah. So I always have to make sure I put a bobber stop on there to prevent that from happening.
Well, and if you don't want to put a bobber stop on there, another thing that we've done too is you take your clasp, or whatever you want to call it, off of that slide and put that right on your swivel so it can't slide.
Exactly.
And then that's holding your peg float down and not floating to the top.
I learned that the hard way. I was out there fishing all night, and it became daylight. The sun came up, and I looked around at my baits, and every one of them were floating on top of the water around my boat. I said, "Yep, can't have that."
Yeah, I was sitting there one day, and it's like I was fishing in like 3 foot of water, and all of a sudden I looked out there and was like, why is my float on top of the water? Well, yeah, because the sinker slide was on there and it was letting it go up. So,
Well, electronics. What kind of electronics are you running? Like your graph?
Well, right now I have a Lowrance 12 Ti, and I have a live scope up front. But all of that's going to be changed. I've got brand new Humminbird Solix 12 sitting over here for the console, and I've got a Helix 7 mega image that's going to be going up front, and that's going to be on the new trolling motor too. That's all self-deployed.
So you're going to replace the live scope with a Helix?
No, the live scope will still stay up there.
Okay.
Now
I know.
You got to have that live scope up there. It's fun.
Are you primarily using your live scope for the center of the river, or are you trying to mark fish that are up on the bank?
I haven't used it on the river yet. I just recently got it not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I've really been doing is catching crappie with it, playing around with the crappie, trying to get used to the settings and see how it's going to react. I'm anxious to get it over on the river to see in the springtime and just before spawn. A lot of times too, you can take your boat and don't slam it in, but you can bump your brush piles with your boat.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll kick that fish out. And when he goes out, and that's what I'm going to use a live scope for, to see if anything does go out. And then when they go out, if you take your bait and you throw it in there, he'll come back, and that'd be the first thing he hits before he goes in that brush pile is that bait.
That makes sense. Yeah, I would love to use a live scope. That would be cool to be going up that river against the current and just marking fish, all the fish that you can possibly mark on the bank, and wherever you mark a fish, hit a waypoint, whatever you need to do to remember where you marked that fish, and maybe, keep going up the river, mark several fish, and maybe come back and start hitting those spots that you marked.
Yep. So the live scope is all new to me. So I'm trying to figure out the settings, I've got it on a pole. It's not on my trolling motor, so I'm still trying to figure out, okay, do I have it pointed exactly to the right direction I need to? And,
Mm-hmm. Now, you said your PB came on Asian carp. Right. Is that your bait of choice? Is that what you'd prefer?
If it's springtime or wintertime, I'd prefer the shad. But anytime you have Asian carp, a lot of the blues over around here, they will follow them Asian carp around. So we try to get Asian carp if we can. If not, then it's shad. But then when the water gets hotter, then we'll go to like golden eye or skipjack or something like that.
Okay. Now, do you anchor 100% of the time, or do you ever tie off on like a limb, a tree, a stump, or something that's close to the bank instead of having to deal with the anchor? Do you ever just tie off to something?
No, I've tied off, and plus I've used the anchor. We do a lot of back walking of baits because at that time, once I get this other trolling motor and the Missouri River's running normal, then I might be able to do some better bumping. But right now, we do a lot of walking back of baits.
Okay.
These dogs are getting a little wound up now. They're kind of squeaking like a couple other guys I know.
I thought maybe he had a toy, but yeah, that's just him.
Yeah, he's got a toy. These dogs are spoiled rotten. They've got a lot of toys.
Do you have a set do you have set things that you do when you go out there, or are you pretty much doing something different every time, or are you like me and you just have a handful of things that you pretty much just do over and over again?
No, there's times I get out there and you look at your depth finder too to see if your fish are suspended higher or lower. You know, you might change the length of your leader depending on where you see them on the depth finder. I'll try different things. It's not the same routine. I can't even talk now. Routine thing every time. You know, I'll try different things. Just right.
Okay,
So
well, I don't want to hog it,
I leave her on the back.
Lyle.
Hey, no problem, JR. I got a couple of questions here.
And by the way, this is Skipper. He's always on the boat with me, and this is Chico. He's in training.
One of them's the same height as James, right?
That's this one.
Yeah, okay.
I think he might be happy it's taller.
Speaking of James, he wants to know if you still plan on being the safety boat driver for the St. Joe tournament. If so, what is the date of that?
I was not going to be the safety driver down there. I'm going to enter that tournament this year, and I believe it's the first weekend of August. But I'm going to be the safety boat for Tim Berger on his tournament down there at Hall Point.
Okay, good. I like that idea. I think that's a great thing to do. Shauna,
all American catfishing.
Yep. Shauna, Kevin with Palmetto Cats wanted us to introduce you, and Kevin, her name is Shauna. This is Sonny's wife. Shauna, do you do any fishing with Sonny?
I do sometimes, not as much as we'd like me to, but
well,
I can't stay up all night. So when he goes night fishing, I'm out.
You just got to tell him, hey, we're going to fish during the day, and I'll go once in a while.
Just bring a sleeping bag, Shauna.
Sometimes
that's what I tell her.
Sometimes it's better at night, so he's got to go when it's good, you know.
Yeah, I know get you some sleep out there.
I know
I've done that.
Sonny had told me once that you was a runner.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that?
I kind of quit for a while, but trying to get back into it.
Now, how hard is that to get back into if you stop?
Very difficult.
Yeah. I would think so. You know, I'm being forced into exercising whether I want to or not. So I've been walking roughly a mile. Some days when the weather's good, I do it morning and night.
Yeah.
You can't get a runner's high walking, Lyle.
Oh,
no.
Really?
Is that a real thing, Shauna? Is there a such thing as a runner's high? I always wondered that.
After a while, after you finish, after you're recovered, then I think there is. But
Chico.
Well, the thing that gets me is we've been having a real rainy year, and if it rains, I'm not getting out there and doing it. So if it rains for 2 or 3 days, I'm off for 2 or 3 days. And I'm going to tell you, it's really hard to motivate yourself to get up. And that first day you go back after being off a couple of days, I don't know how it is for you, but it's really tough on me.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is tough on me too.
I bet.
What's your favorite running shoe?
Brooks.
Brooks, nice.
Hands down, Brooks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Cindy likes to fish, so getting her to go is not a problem. And she likes to go out and exercise and walk with me. In fact, they tell you to walk at a brisk pace. My brisk pace and hers are two different things.
Yeah.
She's kind of like James and Katie. She's vertically challenged. She takes off and goes, and I just let her go. When she gets tired, me and Gidget will catch up. And if she don't get tired, I'll see her at the house because I'm not running. And for me to keep up with her, I'd have to jog. And I heard them songs about joggers, and that ain't me.
Yeah. Lyle, I would like to take a chance here, or take the time right now. Jay Burns with Tackling Cats wants to give away a few prizes tonight.
Okay.
He wants to give them to 3 different people, but I don't know if you want to do it all at the same time or if you want to spread it out. But
let's spread it out a little bit. Well, you go ahead and tell everybody about what you're going to do, and I'll get them gathered up.
Okay. It's going to be from Tackling Cats. Your choice is of the pack of hooks, a pack of crane swivels, and a 10-pack of easy clips. And their hooks, you can go on their Facebook page at Tackling Cats, and you can get on they have the link to their website. You can go in there and see what hooks they've got. They got the 7/0, the 9/0 wide gap, which them 9/0 wide gaps are a great hook. They're a circle hook, offset. You got the 7/0 K-Cat hooks. You got the 10/0 K-Cat hooks and the 9/0 J hook. So them are the hooks you can choose from, and whoever the winners are, just send Jay Burns a personal message on Facebook or send it to the Tackling Cats Facebook page.
Awesome. I've got them all gathered up. The people that are in chat right now, Shauna, pick me out a number between 1 and 5.
How about 3?
Oh, she took it easy on you.
Yes, she did. Bless her heart. And 3. And the winner is Adam Johns. So, Adam Johns, if you'll contact the folks at Tackling Cats and tell them you were the first winner on Catfish Weekly tonight, they will hook you up with the package of those hooks. And thanks so much for watching. And Tackling Cats, thank you so much for sponsoring Sonny and allowing him to give away some prizes on our show tonight.
Chico. This little guy, Chico, the younger of the two, he's pretty noisy. So, hang on. Go shut the door. They're outside. We're going to shut them out the door for them.
Oh, I thought you said they were the same size as James Dockery.
Well, one might be the size of Katie, and the other one might be the size of James.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'd say that about James, but I might not say. Well, I probably would.
Yeah, Katie might.
She is, sweetie.
Yeah. We put them outside for a little bit, let them run some energy off. They get wound up every night, but
I know how that is.
yeah. Kind of like the wife, she gets wound up too, and then I just have to go to the garage.
Hide? Is that what you do? Tell us the truth.
Well, actually, no, I go fishing, and she asked me if I'm going to go see the mistress because she calls my boat the mistress because I spend more time with it than I do her.
Well, I'll tell you, we sold our Lumacraft, so I doesn't have a sponsorship boat, and I'm getting mine ready to go, and I decided that it was getting close to June and fish should be spawning. I was going to paint some of the interior parts. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, and another few days I'll be getting it done, and hopefully the spawn will be getting over pretty soon. I'll get out there and catch a few fish because I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to my son. He's in chat.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if he's got the grandsons watching or not, but I'm hoping they are, and just say hi to him.
Absolutely.
But any other questions?
I don't see any more. Have you seen any, JR?
Nope.
Yep.
Oh, Palmetto Cats made a comment, says, James Dockery, now you have to deal with it.
Yeah, my son just made a comment that Shauna said that the grandsons are watching. So, hi, Arlo. Hi, Campbell.
That's awesome.
They're getting into the fishing. So, my son's been taking them out camping and fishing, and they're really getting into it. So,
Palmetto said, how often do you go?
What's that?
Sonny, Palmetto Cat said, how often do you go fishing?
As often as I possibly can. I'm usually gone every weekend. And if I'm not, I'm thinking about fishing. I mean, the wife married a fishing pole, and before I had my back surgeries all the time, she married a fishing pole and a gun. But now it's just a fishing pole and a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of planer boards do you use? Someone asked that question.
Bears planer boards with Denny Iberg. Great boards.
I think you're at least the second person we've had on here that uses the Bear planer boards.
They're great boards. Yes. Great guy makes them.
Very nice guy. Just don't let him drive your truck while you're standing in the boat. But Really,
He must
really
be the one
nice
that threw you
guy.
out.
He is.
Yeah. And he's even, I cannot remember the guy's name. I wish I could remember it, but there was actually a guy that was struggling with, not having the best income and everything, and wanted to try planer boards. So Denny sent this guy a set of planer boards. I don't know if Denny got it lined up or David Funk. I don't remember who done it, but I know Denny with Bears planer boards sent him a pair of boards, and the guy just loves them too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
James says, "Way to go, guys! Make Katie mad."
No, we don't make her mad. You do by wanting to go fishing all the
That's
time.
right. Keith Smart. I'm not sure when he's going to go wet a line. He had surgery today on his hand. Well, Keith, I hope you get to feeling better real soon.
Yep, and I know how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can sit in the house and watch YouTube and Netflix and Redbox and all that you want. The first hour, you're already bored.
That's exactly right.
Sonny, do you try to mark fish every time you go fishing, or are there times that you just want to fish structure, and whether you've marked any fish?
There's structure too. I look for like a creek channel, the edges or a drop off. But a lot of times it's not always about the depth finder. A lot of times you don't always see them fish on there. It's just by looking at the bank or looking at the way the water, the flow of it, or
exactly.
sometimes just that gut feeling, hey,
exactly.
The best depth finder I ever had in my life was my grandpa,
Yeah.
And you can't replace him.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Palmetto Cats wants to know, do you have a favorite YouTuber?
No. One of these days, hopefully me, but I'm still trying to learn how to run my Hero 8. But if the most videos that have watched though a lot has either been I watched quite a few of Steve Douglas's when I first started, and Chris Souders, but there's no favorite really. Different people will give different information a different way, but still be talking about the same thing, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
So some people can explain it to you better. So, you watch different videos just to see if it's easier for you to understand what they're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And some people can explain it 40 times and still can't say it to where you get what they're trying to say.
Exactly.
I tell you what, I would not want to go catch a 64-pound flathead in current with my Ambassador 6500s. So what kind of reels are you using for these big fish in this river system?
The dog appeared out the door. Sorry about that. Catfish specials, Abu Garcia 6500s.
Okay, so you're using 6500s. All right. Go Ambassadors.
Yep, and braided line with a mono leader and big cat fever rods.
It's exactly what I use.
And yeah, I mean, they'll handle them good.
6500 catfish specials, braided line with big cat fever rods.
Right. The 64.5 pounder though, I caught on Lyle's bumping rod.
Okay.
I was bumping a little bit, and then I set the rod down. I got tired of bumping, and there was a drop off there, so I just set it down. And I thought, well, I'll just leave it sit there for a while. And pretty soon then the pole started going, just like it was a channel cat bite. And that's what I've tried to explain to a lot of people before. When you're fishing for flatheads, a lot of times it's better to hang on to that, especially in a heavy current, because it might just bite like a channel cat. And yeah, it could be a big flathead.
Yeah, I went striper fishing in Tennessee this weekend, and my friend caught a 46-pounder, and that's exactly how it bit. It was just like a channel cat bite.
Yep. But I'm just as guilty as everybody else. I put my rods in the rod holder, and who knows how many people have missed fish like that, or fish of a lifetime, just because it's sitting there doing that and thinking into channel and it's like, I'm not going to mess with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, a lot of times I think when they're just playing with it, like I think they've already picked it up and have it in their mouth. They're
Yeah.
just sitting there holding it,
Well,
deciding whether they're going to spit it out or eat the damn thing.
Yeah, they didn't get
There's
that
no
fat
telling.
by just
Well,
not
that's
laying there.
exactly
You know?
right. Here's a great
Yeah.
question from Kevin at Palmetto Cats. Sonny,
Okay.
how often do you go exploring for new catfishing spots rather than going back to the holes that produce?
Quite a bit, really. You know, there again, it's that checking with the sonar or your gut feeling or whatever. You know, them fish are moving and they're constantly going to move. So you got to learn. You got to try to adapt with the fish and move with them too. And sometimes that's where they get me. Is like the last 2 weeks, I've really struggled trying to find a fish.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and I've struggled even trying to catch fish the last 2 weeks, but it happens.
Yeah, happens to us all.
James has just joined the stream. Welcome, James.
But yeah, we were originally going to do this show tonight. I was going to be out in my boat in the driveway, and we're going to kind of do a little bit of boat safety, but we've got about 25 to 30 mile an hour winds out there, and I don't think anybody could probably hear what I was going to say.
No, and that's one of the problems with doing live stuff is wind noise. And it's not just live stuff, it's recording. JR knows how it is. You're out there trying to record something and the wind won't leave you alone, and you got to figure out how to get away from it because you know it's in there.
I think I'm going to buy one of those, what they call a dead cat, one of those big furry things that go on your mic.
Yeah, I've got them for lapel mics, and I've got one for my my good camera. I've got a AudioVox big mic for it, and I really like that mic. It's a boomer, but it picks up the wind noise as well as anything else. But
It's a boomer, like you.
Yeah, I've got one for it, and it works out really well.
Let's give away another person, another choice of hooks.
All right. And let me get a new fill
for tackling cats
on who's in here. We should get a new one every time because people go in and out.
Right.
You want to tell them about what kind of hooks these are?
They're an offset circle hook. They've got the 9/0 wide gap, the 7/0 wide gap. They've got the J hook. They've got the K cat hooks. Them wide gap 7/0 and 9/0, just like the 9/0. I mean, you can run a good big bait on there. Even the 7/0. I've caught 40-pound fish on them 7/0s with no problem. And they will hook deep, just like they advertise. They do hook deep.
Awesome.
We've set on Milford Lake earlier this year in March. Trevor Simmer and I did. And we anchored in one spot because the fish were roaming all the time. But we anchored in one spot for 14 hours. We caught like 30, 40 fish that night with an average of 30 pounds.
Nice.
And we caught
a great night.
We caught all of them. We kept missing a few, but I wasn't missing them, but Trevor was. So I told Trevor, I said, what do you have on for a hook? And he said he had the 9/0 wide gap. And I said, put that 7/0 on there. And then he started catching them. Plus, he started throwing on my side of the boat. But
imagine that.
What do you prefer, Sonny? You prefer the J hook over the circle or the circle?
Now, if I'm flathead fishing and for live bait, I'd rather have the J hook. If I'm out fishing for blues and I'm in a lot of current and stuff, I'd rather have the circle hook.
Okay.
There's nothing that beats taking and setting a hook on a big flathead and feeling that pull back, you know.
Uh-huh.
Or just stopping you.
Yeah, it just stops
Yeah,
you.
it stops
That's what I
you.
like.
You go to do like this, and it just stops right about
Uh-huh.
That's
And
when
a little bit of
you
some
done
drag
good.
slips. As soon as it stops, some of the drag slips, and you're
Yeah, and
That's right.
that'll heart just gets pumping really good then.
Yeah, it does. All right, Shauna, you want to pick me out another number between 1 and 5?
Let's go with 5 this time.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to remind everybody that you cannot win in chat unless you are a subscriber. It tells us you're in here, but it doesn't let your name be listed on the list. And this time, the winner is John Patrick Jr.
Congratulations.
John.
Cool name.
Yeah, just get a hold of Jay Burns either on his personal Facebook page, send him a private message, or send a message on Tackling Cat's Facebook page, and Jay will get them shipped out.
Be sure and tell them that you was the second winner on the Catfish Weekly show with Sonny Parker.
So let's go ahead and do the third one that Jay wants to do, and then at the end of the show, towards the end, I've got another great prize to give out.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, let me gather them up again. You guys can talk about something else.
So, JR, are you supposed to get into this rain and everything too, like Lyle's supposed to be getting, or?
You know, I just got back from a 3-day fishing trip today. I have not looked at the weather at all. I don't know.
The only time you look at that is if you are out fishing and where you're at.
Well, yeah, we looked at it before we left to go on to the trip, and we were in East Tennessee, and we've been doing some trophy striper fishing, which is very similar to catfishing. It's a lot of the same cut baiting, a lot of the same gear, a lot of the same tactics. So I enjoy it.
We've been catching some nice wipers. They're a hybrid down there at Milford Lake on cut bait while fishing for blues.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, those wipers,
believe they hit that.
Those wipers and hybrids, they'll hit about anything.
Yeah.
I've got all the names loaded up, Sonny, but before we do this, I seen a really good question I wanted because the chat's running by me.
Okay.
Kevin wants to know, do you rely on your graph to find your fish or your knowledge of the water and what you see with your own eyes?
A little bit of both. And like I described earlier, you know, a lot of it is, okay, your graph, if you see them on there, you know they're there. And you can tell if they're suspended and what depth they're suspended at where you can set your leaders. But also, too, you know, a lot of times, like I said, you do not see them on there. So you have to go by your gut feeling or the contour of what you see on the bank. Or even I bring out my Navionics and check out the contours and see where the drop-offs and stuff are.
Fishing with Squirrel wants to know, do you ever forget and yank on a circle hook?
Yeah, I have several times.
Me too.
Get
Don't we
excited.
all?
Yeah.
Me
And
too.
I don't know. I don't care who you are, how many times you sit there and you fish with a circle hook. You see that first initial slam and you're up and you're ready to crank on it and then it's just gone. And it's like, yeah.
Shauna, pick me out another number, please.
How about 2?
I like that. 1, 2, and the winner is Buckeye Catfishing.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
I bet he's from Ohio.
I bet so too. Tell him how to get a hold of your
Just
hooks.
Send Jay Burns a private message. Doctor can go at it again. About knocked the phone over. Send Jay Burns a private message on Facebook or send him a message on Tackling Cat's Facebook page and let him know you won on Catfish Weekly tonight and you're the third winner and give him your address and he will get them shipped out to you.
And thanks so much for watching Catfish Weekly. And Jay, we sure appreciate you donating those hooks to 3 different winners. It really goes a long way with the viewers. They like it. We enjoy it. And thank you so much.
Jay is an awesome guy. And I tell you, that guy can catch some flatheads. He really can.
I got to find the last question that I wanted to ask. Somebody left in here. Oh, setting hooks and crossing eyes would like to know what determines if you fish day or night. I think I know your answer, but go ahead.
Well, a lot of it's going to depend on the water temp and the weather outside. I've fished outside when it's 100 degrees and still catch fish, but a lot of it is the moon. I took my son fishing Saturday night. It's full moon, and it was a bad night. And I've never had that best of luck on a full moon night. Now on a new moon, if the water temp's right and the weather is like 70 for a low, I'm all over it. I am all over it, and especially if you got like a 10, 15 mile an hour breeze to keep the bugs off of you.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Catfish Hunter wants to know, do you still bank fish for catfish?
Yes, sir. But most of the time I'm in my boat, but it's still nice just to go out and sit on the bank somewhere, and throw a line out or back the pickup up, drop the tailgate. And I used to have a bad habit when I dropped the tailgate. I'd throw my lines out and I'd lay my poles on both sides of me. In Nebraska, you can only have, in a lake or a pond, you can only have 2 rods. So I'd lay one on each side of me, but had a bad habit every now and then where one just kind of flies off the tailgate. So I know you kind of set things on them.
You mentioned lunar phase. When it comes to a new moon, do you prefer fishing on the front side of it or the back side? Would you rather fish a waning or a waxing?
A waxing. Yep.
Do you use lights when you're fishing at night?
Yeah, on my rod rack on the back of the boat, I've got I bought them at what was that? Anyways, one of the auto parts stores. Yeah, AutoZone or something or other. But what they are, they're 10 4-inch strips of LED strips that are made for the undercarriage of a motorcycle. They're UV protected. They're waterproof. I mean, anything that's going to be underneath that motorcycle, whatever weather, it's going to be on that boat. They're a little higher dollar. Yeah, they were like $85, $90. But the nice thing about it, I can brighten them, I can dim them, and I've got like 10 different colors I can change to. And it's all remote controlled.
That's nice.
So, if the bugs are bad, and if the lights get too bad, I like taking them little tiny glow sticks like you'd put on a little bobber. And I'll tape them, I'll shut my lights off and tape them to the end of my pole and just watch that glow stick.
Yeah.
So you don't have all the bugs.
That is cool.
Flatheads with cut bait?
Yes.
Me too.
Free spawn is great for flatheads on cut bait. But, post spawn, when it gets later in the summer to where you have them 80-degree hot, muggy nights and stuff, it's usually live bait.
I don't know whether this is headed to you or not. Kentucky Catman Outdoors would like to get an 8x10 autographed picture of my school. I don't know if he's talking about New School or Sonny Parker or
I don't know.
JR or maybe it's Shauna.
It's probably me.
That's what I'm
There was a question there about you. I just seen it. She's got her tablet here, and I'm trying to read some of the comments on the tablet.
They slowed down a little bit, thank goodness.
It says, wow, did your wife have to lift those for you? Oh, talking to Roger. Okay.
What's your most surprising catch other than a catfish?
My most surprising catch other than a catfish. I was up on the we have a canal up in the northern part of the state that they generate electricity on. It comes off of the Loop River, and it's the Loop Canal. And they've got the powerhouses and stuff there. And I was sitting on one of the powerhouses fishing for flathead, and my pole went down, and I thought, okay, it's going to be a great fish because it slammed down. And I'm fighting it, and it's hitting the current, it's going out of the current, it's doing this, doing that. And I got everybody on the banks watching, and it's like, man, this is going to be a great fish. You remember them old office chairs that they used to have back in the day that had the big square bottoms with the springs on them?
Yeah, they were like pleated, had the pleated backrest on them.
That's right.
Yeah, there was one of them in there, and it was like this with the current, that flat metal. Yeah. And then there was one other time I was at Tuttle Creek Lake in Kansas, and I had snagged a old down there they can run trout lines, and I'd snagged a trout line, and it was old, and it started to pull up. So I thought, well, I'm gonna see what's on the other end of that. Well, I pulled it up, and it was like 25 pounds of solid lead.
Oh, wow!
Wow!
So I made more sinkers with that. I make my own.
Absolutely.
Sinker.
Yeah. You hit the jackpot on that one.
Yeah,
exactly.
Must have been somebody's anchor or part of somebody's anchor.
They'll take them lines and they'll tie them to the bank, and then take them out and then drop their weight to where it goes down to the contour.
Right.
A couple months ago, you lost your anchor at the lake.
Oh, yeah. A few months ago, I was in some pretty rough water, and the front of my end of my boat was just bouncing up and down. Well, my anchor rope, I weave it in and out of that cleat or whatever that I have on the front of my boat. Well, I've learned a lesson on that. I did not have a float on the end of my rope. I took it off. Well, next thing I know, my front end of my boat comes around. I look up front, and with the bouncing and stuff, my rope had came out of that, and I lost my anchor. And so
I think he was fishing more for his anchor than for fish after that for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not cheap.
No. I made a waypoint for it, so I knew where it was, and every time I'd go down there, I'd try to snag the rope. Well, I think after like the 4th or 5th trip down there, I finally snagged the rope and I got the anchor back.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that's nice.
Which brings us to a good point in the show, which I'm glad you said that. One of my other sponsors is John Orr from South Dakota with Cat River Anchors. And he would like to give away a 16-pound Cat River anchor in chat.
That is awesome.
So whoever wins this, send me a personal message on Facebook, and I will get the shipping information to John, and he will ship an anchor out to you.
What a deal. Thank you so much, John. We
That's
appreciate
awesome.
it.
Now, John.
I have a couple of questions here before we get to that, and that way I don't forget them.
Okay.
Northeast Kansas fisherman said, are you catching flatheads on Milford?
I have, but not rod and reel. When I've been down there looking for shad, I've been catching 8 to 10 pounders up on the rocks with a cast net.
Okay.
See, in Nebraska, we're not allowed to use a cast net. That's why I like going to other states more than I do my own state.
I can relate.
Because we cannot use a cast net here except for a certain time of the year, which I think is July 1st. And it's only like 2 or 3 lakes, and they're way out north and west. They're not anywhere near me.
You know good.
Right.
Setting hooks and crossing eyes said, what is he looking for in flathead fishing spots, pre-spawn, post-spawn, etc.?
A lot of, especially at night, they're going to get up there along them drop-offs up next to the bank. they'll get up there with their nose and they'll start nosing around the brush piles, the rocks, any of the riprap, to get bait fish to come out. And that's a lot of what I'm looking for in the early spring or post or pre-spawn is areas like that they're going to be feeding on. They'll get up there and try to chase that bait fish around.
Mm-hmm.
Post-spawn, you want to hit your deeper brush piles, your deeper water, because I do anyway, because the water temp in the middle of the summer is a lot hotter. So they're laying down them cool holes, trying to keep themselves comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Very good information. All right, Shauna, I'm all loaded up and ready to go. You got another number in mind?
4.
That's the only one you hadn't hit.
I think so.
Except 1, 2, 3, and 4. The winner is Ernie Brown.
Congrats, Ernie.
Congratulations.
Ernie, send me a personal message on Facebook with your shipping address, and I will get it to John, and he will get you an anchor sent out. Now, these anchors have got a chain on them, and at the top there is a zip tie that holds the chain on. When you get these anchors snagged, it'll break that zip tie and pull the anchor backwards to unsnag.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I have had to do that a few times.
Are they still using the same zip ties that they used to use?
No, they're using a different one. I think they're like a 100-pound zip tie.
Well, the one they had before, I could not break pulling up on the rope.
Yeah, you'll break these.
I had to tie it on to a cleat, use the motor to break them. I couldn't break them.
No, you can break these. They're a little bit lighter,
That would be good because they kept saying they was 80 pounds, 80 pounds. I said, dude, I can break an 80-pound zip tie. I can't break these. They must have been 180 pounds.
I think they were like about 150, to be honest with you. I couldn't break them either.
But the first one that I broke one was with that Monster Cat and that 300 E-Tech on it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I really had to get into it to break it.
Oh, wow. I guess you have to find a happy medium there.
Well,
you don't want too weak of a zip tie.
The front of the boat down before it break one.
Yeah.
And
you really had to get after it.
The trick to them things too, it's a little bit lighter than it was before, but always carry extra zip ties in your glove box.
Yes, sir. We got them in 2 or 3 different spots.
It was made by a cat fisherman, so everything's overkill with us anyway.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
I got zip ties in my camera bag. I got them in storage compartment in the boat. Then got some with her.
Now don't be using that. Don't be using them for handcuffs, Lyle.
Well,
I don't want to know. Yeah, exactly.
That was what you use when you go to the boat ramp when them guys are running their mouth when they ought to be keeping it shut.
Exactly.
That's what you use zip ties for.
And speaking of boat ramp, my son and I were up here at the local lake this weekend. Oh my God, I will never do that in the summertime again. It took me like 2.5 hours to get my boat in. There was guys out there for the first time trying to back a trailer.
Wow.
There was, and jackknifing it and turning it the same way every time. There was women hollering the F-bomb at each other at the ramp. And
Nice.
Alcohol. Gotta love it.
That's right.
I did get a little upset too because I'd been sitting in line forever, and this know-it-all younger kid decided he passed everybody in the whole line, which was lined up for like 2 blocks, and pulled up there and backed right in front of everybody because his boat was tied up.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well for him, did it?
I gave him a few choice words, but I can't say.
I understand.
Yeah.
We was at the boat ramp. Funny story about this. My oldest son, when he was between his junior and senior year in high school, he done his AIT and basic training for the military. And he went in a pretty good sized guy, pretty healthy to start with, and he come out a real man in over summer. I mean, they made a man out of him. And we
was
went
nice then.
to the boat ramp one day, and here's a guy with a brand new pontoon. First time he ever had it on the water, and they had themselves a blast. And 2 hours and 20 or 30 minutes into watching him try to get it back on the trailer, and everybody there pissed off. They was mad out in the water. They was mad at the ramp. They was in line as far as you could up that hill. So Tony goes over and very nicely, I was quite proud of him. He said, "Is there anything I can do to help you get this thing loaded?" And the guy kind of got smart with him and told him no, he'd get it. And he said, "Well, sir, you haven't got it in 2 hours and however long it had been." He said, "I'm thinking you ain't never going to get it." Or not. And the guy was going to get out of there, and Tony just looked at him. He said, "Sir, I just got out of basic training. I was in basic training and AIT, and I arm wrestled every person on that base at least 3 times. And there was one drill sergeant out of everybody on there that I couldn't beat. The rest of them, I either beat arm wrestling or I beat their ass. Now, what would you rather do? Me help you or something else?"
Yeah, exactly.
The guy says, "Yeah, just push the front of the boat up."
Yeah.
So
now
we got it up on there. The guy got out of the way. Of course, by then it was dark and everybody else had to load in the dark. But it is what it is.
Yeah. My stepson, Shauna's boy, he was the same way. You know, he was pretty mouthy and thought, you know, nobody could touch him or anything until he went to boot camp in AIT, and it changed him. You know, he finally realized he's not the big dog running around on the road anymore.
Well, Tony didn't realize how close he was to that. He just didn't work out and do the stuff. But the time he spent in the military, I know when he come back that senior year, he didn't start no trouble with anybody because he knew he would get in trouble. And a young kid that was between the two boys' ages, was picking on my younger son, and Tony told him to leave him alone. He said, "I'll just meet you after school." 2 or 3 punches. I had to take him down to the sheriff's department to get the whole mess cleaned up because he put the boy in the hospital, and his mother was calling me and his dad was calling me. And I said, "I'm telling you ought to be lucky that he only hit him a couple times."
Right.
I said, "You know, if that had been me, I might still be beating on him."
Yep.
When I was that age, there's probably no question about it, you know, but he just lucky that that's as far as it went. But I ended up having to take him to the sheriff's department. The thing that saved him was there was a bunch of people who worked at a school across the street at a gas station. They seen everything. And so what he told to be the truth actually was the truth, and it saved him from getting in some serious trouble.
Good.
The guy started it, and Tony finished it right quick. Didn't take long.
Yeah.
After having to go down to the sheriff's department, I said, "You got to quit that. Well, I can't be doing this all the time."
Yeah, exactly. And then it gives you a heart attack too.
It does.
Yeah. One thing I would like to say tonight, though, you know, we was going to do this beginning, you know, out of the boat and maybe go over a little bit of boat safety or things like that too. Over the years, I've come to find out that how important some of the boat safety really is. You know, when you're younger, you think you're Superman, you're untouchable, everything else. And you always think nothing bad's going to happen to you, or that'll never happen to me. It'll happen to everybody else, but not me. But here the last few years, I've really noticed how many more drownings there have been because of boating accidents. And
there was one today.
Yeah.
Really,
like Norman. Mm-hmm.
Just a simple little accident. You know, we put on a tournament down Lake of the Ozarks here a few years ago, and a guy was out catching bait. Okay. It was March. It was 28 degrees that night. You know, he slipped and fell in the water. He didn't have a inflatable on, you know. But like I told you guys when I was talking to you guys earlier, now I've got the inflatables to where if something did happen to me, at least you're not spending your time trying to get closure for the family.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the biggest things I've noticed lately, and like with some of these tournaments, I wish they would start going to them, is the kill switch, the lanyard. It's a $9-10 piece. You know, put it on your boat, put it on you. If you fall out of that boat, 9 times out of 10, that boat's going to keep going around in a circle, and it'll take, you know, and with the kill switch on there, it can save a lot of people.
Yep. Guys, it's been a pleasure. I want to thank everyone in chat from, let's see, Bill Forshee, Creole Catfishing, Catfish Headhunters, John Patrick, Muskrat, Setting Hooks and Crossing Eyes. All those guys, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And Sonny and Shonda, it's been an awesome show, and it's been a pleasure.
It has. I've got one more surprise for you, though, Sonny.
Uh-oh, what James do now?
Now, why would you say that it would be James?
Because James is always up to something, and it's hard telling about that guy.
Really?
He's always trying to pull one over on me. What did he put you up to?
Okay, are we good?
What's it say? I can't read it.
Please help hands, feet, and Sonny in the boat at all times.
Oh, my God. See, I told you it was James.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
oh man.
Can I buy
Now
one
listen.
of those?
Hey, James Docker.
All right, now hold on.
Okay, here we go.
Now listen, Junior. Hey, JR, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for keeping it professional. All right, JR, you are like top-notch professional. Lyle,
Oh my God, here we
you
go.
look like a grumpy Santa on vacation. You really and truly do. All right. Where's Sonny at? Sonny,
Yeah, you challenged me, dude. So I had to do something.
you want to see the front of the shirt?
Yeah, let's see it. All right, hang on. What's it?
Look close.
I got to screenshot that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no. It's on the trailer.
Yeah.
It's on the trailer. And do you see the dog?
Oh,
Oh, dude. Yeah, he was with me that day too.
See, but the only way that you can get that dog to go with you is to bribe him with dog treats.
No.
Oh, come on. Or your
All I
wife
gotta do is say,
buys
you want to
him
go for a
toys.
ride? All I gotta do is say, you want to go for a ride? Oh, that got him perked up. And he's wanting to go. Now, the treats, I have to give my wife a treat for her to go.
Because she doesn't,
Not
because she doesn't like you either.
Them crystal clear diamonds usually work well, Sonny.
Yeah, but I can't afford them.
Then you're going to have to come up with something else.
So where
Oh,
was this?
man, I don't know. But James, my wife wants to know how to buy a shirt like that.
yeah, can I buy one of those?
I'll make you one and just send it over to you.
Perfect.
Wait,
What?
wait. I'm still
What?
waiting for my Reese's.
I ate them all. I told you that. The second that she told you about that, I was going to send them to her to eat in front of you. They
Oh,
weren't
okay.
for you.
Okay. Dang.
No.
See, I knew something was going to be up tonight. I just knew it was going to happen.
I hadn't
you-
planned on it. Actually, I forgot about it. If you had sent me a note, you'd got away with it because we've been talking about it for how many days?
Oh, no. See, I would have plastered that shirt all over every single Facebook group out there and tagging him. I would.
You know how much crap I've caught over that since that happened last September? Oh,
enough,
my God.
enough for someone to make a shirt over it.
I know.
Hey, JR, you know what this means, don't you?
What does this mean?
It means it's time to go. James Dockery, thank you so much for being a part of Catfish Weekly tonight. We got to get you and T back on.
Yes.
Sonny Parker and Shauna, thank you so much. You guys have been awesome guests on our show tonight. JR, as always, it's a pleasure.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, hang on. James? Somebody wants to say hi to you. Yeah,
It's a squeaky toy.
he is a squeaky toy.
But see, that's the way I thought Sonny sounded for years because that's all I ever heard in his videos. Dog squeak voice.
We want to thank
That's my boy.
and Cat River Anchors for the great prizes for our viewers tonight. That was awesome of them to do. We appreciate it so much. Until next Monday night, thanks for watching Catfish Weekly.
Thanks, guys. Tight lines. See you on the water.
Bye, everybody.